to the podcast Powerful Women, Swati. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Narmina. I am equally very glad.
Yes, and it was like I was looking forward for this episode because, you know, lots of my friends, and especially in Sweden, they're like, oh my God, you are going to Dubai and you have to meet Swati. I'm like,
Oh my God,
yes.
really?
Because Swati Cosmetics is everywhere in Sweden, you know.
Wow, I
It's
am
like
so
in
happy.
Åhléns, Kicks, and yeah. So I'm so happy to have you here in
Thank
real
you.
life.
Thank you so much. It's a
So
pleasure.
today we will talk about your journey and how you achieved your dreams, you followed your passion. But we will start by going back in time. So we want to hear about your childhood, about your early days, and relationships, childhood that formed you for being Swati.
Well, I would say coming from a middle class family, a working family, every day is a struggle. All your parents wish for you is to have a good future, which means having good education, being healthy, getting a good job, and having the right values. And I would say my parents, both my parents, played a really important role in making who I am today. Because my mother, especially for my self-esteem, for pushing me hard to do, you know, like to be on the top. And my father for always believing in me. Sometimes actually he believed too much and I was like, okay, you know, I cannot trust you. But otherwise, yes, he always have been positive in life, and he's the calmest person ever. And I think that's what I've taken from him, but also from my mother, to never give up, to always, you know, work hard. So yeah, I would say I'm really glad of how they played this role in my life and made me who I am today.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking about, you know, sometimes parents want something for you, but you don't know if it's good for you, you know, and it takes self-esteem and self-confidence to follow your passion. And, you know, usually parents want, you know, to be like engineer, doctor, or whatever, but you followed for beauty industry. And how did it start?
It's a long journey for sure. Because coming from culture, the Indian culture especially, where your parents' biggest dream is for you to be a doctor, engineer, or a teacher, even a lawyer. You know, that they are the jobs.
Exactly.
And to be honest, now from a decade, yes, you know, these kind of jobs are being the jobs that the job that I am into, or other jobs have been more recognized. But earlier in the past, it was not a profession, and you would not even go there to talk to your parents about it, because you know the answer and you know what people are going to talk about it. So you always focus more on what others going to think about you instead what you really want to do. And you're not really sure about it also because there's no one to guide you through. So I wanted to be a doctor because that's what my parents taught me. I wanted to be a cardiologist, you know. I heard about it, you know. I had some doctor in my family, and I was always be inspired, you know. Yes, this is what I want to do one day. And mother, you know, whenever I was sick, you know, she would take me to the hospital, and she's like, this is where you have to be one day. And, you know, as a child, when you're taught these things every time, you believe in it, right? And that's what I believed in the beginning. But later when I started growing up, I was studying. It's not like, you know, at that time I decided that I want to go into beauty. I didn't even know about like it. And there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was nothing. And you don't even have internet at that time. I didn't even have a phone when I was in school. You know, now people have phones when they're so young. So you don't really get to know so much about what you want to do. You cannot decide. Your parents can only tell you that. And yeah, so when I was in my high school and I started studying medical, I realized, okay, I just liked it because, you know, I was told about it. But now that I'm studying it, it's not what I want. And I don't want to do something that I regret later. I don't want to get into something and finish, and later, you know, in my life, I don't want to do it. I don't want to come to that stage. And still, I didn't know what to do. You know, I was always confused. And I told my mother, she's like, no, you have to study, you have to do this. I studied it. I did it for 2 years. And then still at the same time, you know, I would just read some beauty magazines, you know, look at the people, look at the models, look at some makeup artists there. But it was not the ones from Indian culture, you know, because there were not so many there. And again, then it was Bollywood. you know, the actors and all, you look at them, you see their life. I was more inclined towards that. But my mother would just go crazy. She's a very strict woman, you know, she has principles. And she would always be like, no, you would not do that. No, you know, it's an Indian drama. We have that in Indian families. Then I got it's something that it's not so public, but I got my results of the high school, the final, and I failed in mathematics. Because my mother thought that I'm an all-rounder, and you know, you should take medical with mathematics. You know, so that you can have two options, engineering or being a doctor. And I failed in that. And she started crying, and she's like, how can you just get 9 out of 100? I was like, I don't know how I got 9 also, because I didn't study for it. I don't want to do it. It's not like I cannot do it, but I do not want to do it. And first she was more into, no, you have to do it again. I'm like, never in my dreams I will do it again. And then it was like a clash at my house for a few times. And my father was always like, yeah, it's okay, you know, whatever you want to do. But my mother was very strict. Then when I didn't want to do it for a few months, and you know, it was like the same thing over and over. My mother said, okay, what do you want to do? I said, I do not really know, but let me figure it out. And I didn't know how to go and get into beauty, because there was no one to guide. And also I didn't, you know, the society did not accept makeup artists or, you know, someone. It was really like not a job, not a profession at all. It was, you know, in India it would just call like, oh, you know, it's a barber. You know, if you want to say you want to be a makeup artist, they're like, oh, it's a barber. You know, so that was something in my back of my mind, like, do I really want to do it? But still I was inclined towards it. I knew it. Then I met someone, and this woman said to me, you talk a lot, why don't you be an anchor? And I was like, what do I have to be? And she's like, have you done it before? And I was like, you know what, I need to get out of what I was just, you know, waiting for at home all the time. I need to get out of that thing. Let me just say yes. I said yes, and I had no idea what does it mean. And I just had like a week, you know, to practice, to be an anchor, to know, you know, to learn what do they do on the stage. And it was a live show. It was not even a show that, you know, live show as in it was, I was working as a corporate presenter. So I started working in that. I did it for 3 years, and I really enjoyed it. But then I later on realized what I enjoyed the most was traveling part, because I love to travel, and I loved getting ready every time. So it was beauty all the time. And still I was not sure, like, do I have to do it or not? And then, you know, I was always very active on Instagram. I was an early user there. And people would ask me, so there were two kind of audience, you know, one who was, oh my God, you wear too much makeup. And the other one was like, wow, can I learn from you? So these were the things. So I was self-taught at that time. And then I saw the thing that, you know what, maybe this can be a future, because so many people are positive about me doing the makeup, how I'm doing it. They want to learn from me. They want to they want to know, they want me to do their bridal makeup, like, you know, for the most important days of their life. So maybe I'm doing something correct. So I had to take a risk at that time. And by this time, because I've been working for a few years already, my mother also changed her thinking. She saw me growing up, you know, she saw me being mature about how I'm taking my life decisions, how I started traveling. So of course I also got mature at that time. That's why she started believing in me. And yeah, but she always still wanted me to be a doctor at that time. But still she said, you know what, because when she saw people going crazy over, like, you know, the things that I'm doing with myself, like just self-taught. And she really admired it at that time. And then her thinking changed, and she's like, yeah, I mean, you know, maybe if you really want to do it, do it. But you should know that it's a risk. You know, nothing comes without a risk. So especially at that time, it's been, I think I'm talking about 10 years back.
Exactly.
So,
but I'm also thinking about, you said that you were earlier like Instagram user. But how did like your career with social media and influencing, you know, started? Was it during your
Not the early stage. Earlier, it was more like just posting because I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, it was the makeup, and I wanted someone to look at it. You know, that I'm doing such a good job, and it was not so many YouTube videos or something that you can learn through it. So I you know, when people started asking me those things, I'm like, maybe I should teach them. So it was purely, you know, the thing that I did for my audience, not that I wanted to be an influencer, not that I wanted to get into cosmetics or something, you know. It was just like I loved makeup at that time, and there were so many people asking me, so why not to help those people out? So I started my Instagram like that, actually Facebook like that. And back in time, you know, there used to be Facebook groups.
Yes.
Where you used to, you know, interact with people, you meet a lot of people, like-minded people. So there used to be some groups where I joined, and there were so many questions about makeup. So I would actually, every day I would set 2 hours to go on Facebook and reply to those people. And that's how I made a community there. I made my own group, you know, at that time. I don't remember the name of it, but I made a group where people could join and ask me questions about it. Because, and it was not like, okay, I'm teaching makeup, but whatever I know, I just wanted to share my knowledge with them. So that's how I started into it. And then, of course, you know, later, again, the same thing happened with me. Once this girl came to me and she's like, on Facebook, hi, I want you to do my bridal makeup. How much would you charge? And I, in my head, I'm like, I've never done anyone's makeup. How? And I told her, I was very honest. She's like, no, I want you to do it. You do it amazing.
And it was like a push.
It was like a push, yeah. And I didn't even know her. I was really scared because, you know, you can just do some mistake on yourself, it's fine. But, and even if you're practicing on someone else, it's fine. I only practiced on my sister because, you know, I loved creating looks. I loved beauty. You know, when I look at models and I'm like, I adore it so much. So every night when I come back home from work, I would ask my sister, you know, she was young again. So she would say yes all the time. She's like, yeah, I can be a model. So I would do it like 3 in the night on her. And you know, sometimes I would just leave her as it is, like half makeup, just to see what I'm doing. And it was with no purpose of being a makeup artist, but with no hopes of being a makeup artist, but just because I liked it. It started like that. Of course, I had that liking, that you know, that thing in me. And
so it started like a hobby, right?
Yes, as a hobby.
But if someone asks you, like, what did you do before, like, how did you start it, and what did you do before Swati Cosmetics? How do you refer it? Like, I started as a makeup artist, as a YouTuber, as an influencer.
I started as an anchor, as I said. I started as an anchor. I worked 3-4 years. I started really young, so I didn't go to college. I started young. And when you start earning money, you don't want to go and study. That's one problem. But, you know, yeah, so, but I still did not enjoy it as much as I enjoyed getting ready all the time. So then I got into beauty. And I would not say I was a YouTuber because I started YouTube really late. But I used to, you know, do some small tutorials, some giving tips and all that everywhere on Facebook, on Instagram, in the groups. And then I became a makeup artist because, yes, I was telling you about this bride. I did her makeup and it boosted my confidence to see someone being so happy on their most important day. And I was like, wow, it's a great feeling. And maybe this is where I can go. But it was, again, a very big risk for me because what I was doing, I was earning really good at that time. And I was like, if I start something again from scratch, it's like going deep down, starting from the bottom. I don't know if I will be able to make it good. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing what I did. I will work hard and I will be honest. I will always work with the quality, not the quantity. So I started working with that, and actually it picked up so well because I already had that audience before. I was building for years. I had the audience who I never monetized on them at that time, before that, because I didn't know that I want to be a makeup artist. But when I started, so I had so many people following me for makeup. So they started getting in touch with me. They're like, okay, you know, this makeup, that makeup. Then after a couple of years, I started getting so many messages, if you teach makeup, because we want to do this too.
So you started with courses.
I started with courses. I was the first one to bring courses to India, like, you know, not those academies, but like, you know, normally there are makeup academies where you go, you learn like, you have to go 3-4 months or 5 months, then you learn, you know, the makeup. But they still don't teach you what is to be used in the practical life, you know? So I designed a course for the women who are working, who have a fast life, you know, and you don't have so much time. So how can you learn in 7 days? So I was the first one bringing that concept in India, and yeah, it picked up so well, and I had like back-to-back students every month, and you know, I was traveling all the time to Sweden to meet Vishal, my partner. So my life was like 1 month in Sweden, 1 month in India, every alternate months. And then the month I was in India, I was teaching like 100 students. So I started like that. And from there, I realized, you know, I love beauty so much that why not to have my own products? But again, I did not think of makeup products at that time. It was one thing, the lenses, because I was obsessed with it. You know, I was obsessed wearing lens.
But before we're like going to the like Swati Cosmetics as a company.
Yeah.
So I see two things that you followed is like you love to travel and you love beauty.
Yeah.
And I can for sure say that you are a risk taker.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to just shut down the noise and expectations of the society and the family, you know, and to believe in your own passion. At that time, you know, nowadays beauty industry and makeup artists are like big thing.
Yeah.
But as you said, back in time, it was like, okay, what are you doing? Is it a hobby? Like they don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
So you were a risk taker, but what made you, you know, to just realize that from being makeup artist to do kind of maybe a product, you know, what was like, you know,
I saw the gap in the beauty industry. Like, as I said, I was obsessed with wearing lenses, right? But you know, when I was looking for the lenses, I never found something which looked natural. And having dark eyes, like we women, you know, we want to experiment with things. Like, you know, if I have straight hair, I want to go with the curly ones. If I wear, you know, one kind of dresses, I want to try the others, you know. And it was the same with the lenses. And I saw the thing in India, like, you know, people were using lenses like crazy. But every time I looked at someone wearing lenses, the first thought in my head was like, oh my God, it looks so fake. And I never and that's why so many times I just did not wear it, because I mean, I love my natural eyes, but if I want to enhance it, like I want that same effect, you know, but I want to make it easy also. Like, you know, how you change your lipstick color whenever you want and have a different personality. So I wanted to do that, but at the same time, there was nothing natural in the market. And I never thought that I would, you know, have this kind of lenses, because I never found anything. Then I saw an ad on Facebook. Somebody, you know, with the eye doing like this. And I was like, oh shit, is this even real? I mean, so there are some brands who are doing like this, but it was not the brands who were approved, like, you know, who were selling in big stores, or, you know, it was just some XYZ brands. I cannot name them. But yeah, so that's what I saw, and I wanted to give it a try to see if it's real. And when I saw that, and I actually, before even thinking of, like, you know, doing something so big, like taking such a big risk with my life, I always did an experiment, like survey, you know, with my audience that I had like around 40-50,000 people following me, and it was a big number at that time, you know. So I was like, why not to just ask these people? And I was very open, like, oh, should I do this? And I was very interactive all the time with them, posting about it. And yeah, so I asked my audience about the lenses. I did the same thing. When I found a factory in South Korea, I ordered some colors, and I showed, and people just went crazy. They were like, wow, is this even, you know, the same reaction that I had. And I started wearing it. I actually ordered a small batch without any branding and all that. Just wanted to give it a try, like give it to some people that I knew. And I was like, okay, tell me, what do you feel about it? They were like, wow, you know, why don't you have a brand like this? And they started saying that. And I was like, no, you know, this is something, I don't know if I can do it, you know, because I've never launched something. But my father was like, always like, yeah, it's okay, you know, yeah, do it. But I'm like, you don't know what it takes to do something like that. And but he's always like, you know, being positive. And then also I met Vishal, and he has a background of having companies and all that. So at this point, I needed someone who could guide me, because earlier I could of course take risks, but this is something like, you know, you launch and people are using it. It's not like, it's not about you anymore. It's about when you launch a product, you need to see what people really like, because you're gonna sell a solution to them. You're not just gonna sell your product.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him, you know, when I was visiting him, looking at him, how he's taking his meetings, all those things. And I was like, yeah, I know what I have to do, but it's important that I ask my people also. So yes, at that time, I started with a small batch. I did like a survey all the time, different colors. And, you know, it was more like, you know, creating, you know, putting a seed and it's just growing, right? So, and there was nothing like that in India, nothing. You talk about the biggest players, they only focus on vision correction. But the colors were, I'm sorry, horrible. It looked so bad, but I still used to wear it sometimes because I was obsessed. And then one time I went to Sweden. I had my regular lenses. Yeah, it was before, it was actually after Vishal got to know that I'm wearing lenses, by the way. So I go to Sweden, one of my lenses broke, and I found out that you can't buy lenses there like that. You know, there was nowhere that I could buy lenses, color lenses, because it was like, okay, take an appointment with the doctor, you meet next week. I'm like, I need it tonight. So he took me to Buttrick's, a Halloween store. And he's like, oh, get their lenses here. I'm like, are you kidding me? I want lenses to look more beautiful, you know, to enhance my eyes, not to look scary tonight. And yeah, so that's how I got to know from there, like people don't use it.
And he didn't realize that you had like lenses.
Yeah, he didn't realize. He thought, you know, I have some problem with my eyes and, you know, this is why you wear lenses and all that. So yeah, I mean, but this is how I realized, like people, like over there in Europe, maybe the lenses was not a trend, but in India for sure, you know, when I saw it. And from there, yes, I started working on it. And as I said, I got so many queries, so many people were talking about it that I had to take another risk, you know, to get into it.
Yeah, and one thing I'm thinking about is that, okay, how did your journey started in Dubai, you know? Because you love to travel, you started to, you know, realize what people like and what you need, you know, and that's, for example, if you go abroad, you don't find it. For example, in Sweden, you have to meet a doctor to find like great, you know, lenses. And yeah, what made you like to choose Dubai, you know, of all countries that you have visited?
Well, Dubai, I would say, first of all, it started when I met the man of my life, my love. So we had a distance relationship for 2 years almost. And at that time, I was from India. He was from Sweden. It's, you know, when I took a flight first time, it was not a direct flight. It took me 16 hours to reach there. And I said, no, I cannot come to Sweden all the time to meet you. We have to do something else. Then we started to travel the world together. And that's when we would go to Dubai all the time, because it's like a perfect location, a midpoint from India and from Sweden. 6 hours for him, 3 hours for me. So it sounded good at that time. Then during one of our vacations, he proposed to me here. And not that we fell in love with each other more, but we also fell in love with the city. It was like a perfect match with the life standards that we were looking for, the women's safety, I would say. You know, I felt so safe walking in the night here, which I would not feel in India or maybe somewhere else in other countries. And then, you know, meeting the people are so warm here. You meet all the cultures here. You have Indians, you have Swedish, you have every culture you talk about. And then we talked, when we were talking about the company, you know, we were still working on our project, Swati Cosmetics, that we were supposed to launch in a couple of years. So we thought beauty is really big here because people love to, you know, experiment. So that's why we thought Dubai is a perfect hub. Before we thought about Barcelona, Hong Kong, even US, but Dubai was, you know, it felt more like home. Exactly. And again, Vishal comes from a cold country. You know, for him, sun is like, wow, you know. So he just wanted to move to a beach. That's what we did, actually. We stayed 2 years in Panjamera on a beach. Every day was like a vacation. So
Yeah.
that's why Dubai, I would
It
say.
was charming, yeah.
It was charming, and it was easy to work globally.
Exactly.
You know, because in India, it's like just 1.5 hour back, so you can still catch up.
Yeah.
And in Sweden, we're 3 hours ahead. So it was easy to work, you know. So by the time it's 12 o'clock here, people are up in Sweden. So we've done all the admin work,
Yeah.
and then we can work with them, and we can finish easily on time. So that's why we thought
But
it's easy.
one thing I'm also like, you know, thinking about is that, okay, to have partnership with your like man or husband, or isn't it like too hard? Like, you know, because you said that Vishal was like before it entrepreneur and you was in the beauty industry, but to combine it, you know, and to you just like see each other like
24/7?
24/7, you know, and to bake something together, like, you know, a company.
Yeah, it's not easy, I would say. It's
Was
not
it
at all
scary?
easy. It's not scary either. You know, first thing, the benefit is you get to spend time with each other all the time. If you were not working together, imagine, and I was working in the beauty industry, like I had no timings. I would work on the weekends also. And he being an entrepreneur, his work is, he worships his work. So, and he would do the same. So when do we have time to work with each other, be with each other? So that's one thing. And also he's not just my partner, he's also my best friend. I don't have so many friends. He's one of them. So it was pretty easy that we're very open to each other, and he's very supportive. So that's one thing. These are the things I would say, you know, it really helped to work the relationship as well as the business part for 6 years so far.
Exactly.
But again, it gets hard sometimes because he comes, also it's not just the working with your partner here, it's about different cultures. I come from India, totally different culture. He being Indian, but he has more Swedish roots here. So the culture wise also it's a lot of, you know, ups and downs. But still, I think, you know, I'm happy that I'm working with him.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of things from his experience that he had before. And, you know, this made my vision even clearer, like what I want in life. Because, you know, I think I would have maybe started a company by myself. It was easy. It was not something that I would not be able to do it, but how to make it 10 times. Exactly. That's what I learned from him. So I'd say it's not, it's good and bad in many ways. Yeah.
But you balance it out.
Yeah, we balance it out.
Yeah.
So I learned one thing, like in Sweden, when I started visiting him in the beginning, it was really hard, like, you know, because everything closes so early. So 5 o'clock, you know, till 5 o'clock we are working, and he's really hard about it, right? And after 5 o'clock, he'll switch. He'll be like, baby. I'm like, don't baby me, you know, because we just had a fight about something, you know. He comes from the business point of view, like, oh, we cannot spend this much money. And I was like, no, for the product, we want the best, you know. I cannot have this product with this, you know. I need the best of everything here. And so he comes with like, okay, how are we going to spend this money? Like, where do we get the money?
Budget
and I'm
and
like,
structure.
no, you know, we have to find a way out. So it was always clashes like that. But again, you know, the clashes were not, you know, it was for the same purpose. That's why it worked really well, because if he's saying something, it's just for the benefit of the company that we had together. And if I said something, that was also for the that was beneficial for the company itself. So that's why, you know, it was easy to work. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, we have a switch now. So when we have a fight regarding the work, or when we have an argument, because obviously I have my own opinion, he has his own opinion from his experience, mine from my experience. Well, we just know the switch, you know. We're like, okay, when we are not at work, turn it off.
Yeah.
They're like, baby, yeah, what are you doing? Let's go, you know. So we do that. Yeah.
But one thing I'm like want to talk about is also that beauty industry is a male-dominated industry, and often we think that it's like women's industry, you know, and it's dominated by women because beauty is all about women. But at the same time, when you look behind the scenes, it's very difficult to be a woman in this industry. And at the same time, you know, that you made like something big in this industry. How did it, like, did you feel something that, you know, that maybe can break you, or it was difficult, or closed doors in this industry?
I think, you know, now what you're talking about is like back, like long back. Now the today's generation, they believe in women. Women, where there's women, there is magic. We say that. So women is power. Being a woman is a power. So I think now it's changing for sure. Earlier, maybe it was not so easy in the male-dominated industry, but now people know, Vishal cannot be the face of Swati. Nobody's going to believe in him, even if he knows how to do it, right? So I would say it's important because, the connection that you have with other women or other people, being a woman, it's totally different. So I think it's not really that problem anymore. I to be honest, never faced something like that. And of course, the problems, like, if you really want to talk about, like, okay, in the male-dominating industry, there can be challenges. But I would say, so I had a male also with me, my partner. So, he guided me, of course. He supported me, like, how to handle things at times, because, of course, it can be difficult. So I never really faced a problem like that, I'd say. Yes, people don't believe in you, but it's you who have to believe in yourself.
Exactly.
That's what I would say. When we started, I did a survey in Sweden with the lenses, like, because the first time I wanted to buy lenses, it was no store selling lenses. Then when we put 2 years in a project, we did the photo shoot. We spent so much of our personal money, like whatever we earned, everything, because we wanted to do best. We bought the stock. We just did a survey, like, okay. We went to some stores, and like, okay, do you sell colored lenses? So many of them said no. So 90% said no. Then we said, a few stores were there who used to sell colored lenses. Like, how many did you sell? We're like, 3 in last 2 months. And Vishal is like, Swati, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. But I said, you know what? No, we have to believe in what we are doing. We're making, it's a revolutionary change, that we're bringing in here. And I think Swedish people, like, they're very fashionable, they're good with fashion. So they're experimental. So I said that I am 100% sure that they're going to believe in this project also. Yes. And also when we used to tell our, about the project to people, and they're like, you think, it's going to work? People have light eyes here already. And like, and yeah,
that's actually what I, admire a lot, that you had, like, Swati Cosmetics in 3 years. And it's like, how did you, like, expand that much in 3 years? Because literally it's everywhere in Sweden.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere here too. Like, you go to Sephora and you see Swati Cosmetics. Yeah. And how was it, like, to expand a company in 3 years? And if you can give someone, like, best tips of how to expand a company, what was?
So for us, first of all, it's like, we filled the gap in the industry, which was always there, because as I mentioned earlier, the optical industry was there, who was not filling the need of a person who wants to just change the color of their eyes. Like a lipstick, it's a fun part. It doesn't have to be medical. So we saw that thing there, because I saw so many celebrities using lenses, but nobody talked about it. Which brand is it? They would brag about other brands. They would just talk about their lipstick, their mascara, their eyeliner, their foundation, but none of them talked about the lens. Why? Because it looked so medical, or it looked like not something so serious. Either it was too, like, playful, like, that you cannot believe or trust in a product, or it was too medical, that it looked like a medicine, that you just, take it and throw the packaging, it was like that. So we saw that gap, and we filled in that gap in the industry, because for me, being a beauty junkie, I use lenses to just, enhance my eyes, to just pop my eyes out and, make it more beautiful. But it's not something that I just need for my correction of the eyes, the vision correction. So this is what the biggest brands were lacking. So we saw the problem, and we put a solution there. That's what we did. So I would say, this advice, like, for people, for women or men, whoever want to start a company, to always see what is lacking, not just to copy and paste, something which is already going on in the market. Why would somebody buy yours?
Yes.
What is different about you? So this is, and every product that we have now, it's like, it has a USP, it has a unique point here in every product. Like, after the lenses, when we launched lenses, we started with the next product, which was an eyeliner, and it was an adhesive eyeliner. So I've got it for you also. So it basically sticks your lashes. So years, for all the years, even being a makeup artist, a professional, I still struggle with the lashes on myself, because when you don't have time in the morning, you just can't stress on putting your lashes, and I always avoided it because I can't do it in 1 minute. That's why we launched a liner. We worked on a formula which is an eyeliner and sticks your lashes too. So that was a very different product, and that's why it became a hit again. Then we worked on the next product. There was a mascara, really crazy, like give it voluminous mascara, but at the same time, it has a different point here, which is not there in the market. We launched something which grows your lashes too.
Okay.
It's not just a lash serum. So you use your mascara every day, and your lashes get stronger, your lashes get, more longer, and then it boosts your lashes.
Yeah.
So that was the next product. So we every time believed in giving a solution, and something different to the audience, to the customers. That's what I would say. That's one thing. And then again, focus. When we had to expand, we focused on one market at that time. I'm big in India, but still we did not focus on that market at that time, because we're like, our whole focus, if we want to grow in one country, we need to put all our focus there. So we started with Sweden, because all the branding, the DNA of the company is Swedish. Even if one of the founders is totally Indian, and the other one is born in Sweden, but he's Indian. And the name of the brand is Swati. And the biggest thing what we did was, I don't even remember any Swedish brand in Sephora in Sweden. And a brand with an Indian name is in Swedish, as Scandinavian Sephora. And the same thing in India. So there's no, now maybe a couple of, there are 1 or 2 Indian brands are there, but there's no other brand who is in Sephora as such. And started, just a couple of years back, and then is in Sephora. So yeah, we focused at one market at one time. We did everything what it could take. We found a distributor who could help us, who of course loved our idea, who believed in us, and who helped us, spread our wings everywhere in Sweden. Yeah. So yeah, I feel really proud when I go there, and I'm like, okay, every store I go to, I'm like, okay, this is me. So it feels really good.
And so if I do a summary of everything that you just said, it is, first of all, if you want to come with a product, try to fill a gap, but at the same time do a product better, or
something different, something different,
and add to it something that can be life-changing.
Yeah.
For example, an eyeliner, or as you said,
with the lash adhesive
mascara,
properties.
yes, or lipstick, And number 2, to think because of you traveled a lot and you have been in many countries, I think to think in bigger pictures and actually go out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Because it's very common that, people think that, okay, I am from Sweden, I have to do it in Sweden. But, one thing I can, if I compare, 2 countries, Dubai and Sweden, it's when I came, if I compare Narmina 6 months ago and now, I think I do a lot of, I think I care a lot about my feminine side, to take care of me, and more, because in Sweden we have the mentality that's because of the weather and society, and we don't do so much of makeup, or but here in Dubai you feel like, okay, I have to go to this event, and you're like, and you see other women doing it, so you want to feel like a little bit extra, and you're taking out your feminine side.
I would say it's, for me, it's a feminine side is not just doing makeup or something. For me, it's more like just do it when you want to, and not do it when you don't want to. It's like you should not care about people judging you. And that's what I love about this place here. If I go bare makeup, of course I have the confidence that I don't care about people, but nobody's gonna judge you, right? And if you go with full makeup, even extreme, nobody's gonna judge you. Exactly. So that's what I love about it here. You just be who you are, who you want to be. But
at the same time, it's a very good niche, to start a beauty company in Dubai? Because
We're actually not really working towards Dubai.
no.
Our main purpose of being in Dubai is just that, you know, we could recruit people from all over the globe. Because in Sweden, if we would, let's say there, we would only have maybe people living in Sweden, right? And if we had a company in India, it's very hard to, you know, have people from different countries. And it would have been much easier in India, to be honest, and cheaper. Dubai is not cheap. It's really, it's like, I would say if I compare to India, it's like 3 times, 4 times the salaries. And the same, Sweden, not so much difference, you know, you have taxes there.
Yeah.
The taxes are less, it's more for the employers, not for the people, not for the people who are working. So, but still, I think it's more of having like, you know, like different mindsets. You know, like you can get the best people from all over the
And
globe.
include them in the
Yeah, and include them. And it's very diverse. And our company is also very diverse. You know, it's all about diversity. It's about including everyone. So this is what, you know, I think it made it really easy for us to have a company here. But our biggest market right now, you would not even imagine, it's UK.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweden is, again, Sweden is right now the second number, but we've never done something in UK. It's just that people love the brand. They're very experimental. They are modern. They're stylish. You know, so they just love the products.
Yeah.
So, and we're not selling in any store in UK. No store.
So they're ordering it.
They're ordering online. So UK is our biggest market, and India is one of our biggest market, because India, again, you know, I am from India. People, you know, believe in me. They've been seeing me for years now. So yeah.
So your main audience is in India.
My main audience is Indian, based in the whole world, because we're everywhere. We're in Sweden also. We're in Canada. We're in Australia. So it's, I would say, 80%, 85% Indians from the whole globe. And then I do have people from Sweden. I do have people from Dubai also. Now, you know, the followers. I do have Brazilian people following me because of makeup, you know, because they love makeup over there also.
Yeah.
So I do have, so yeah, it's a mix, I would say. Beauty junkies, you know, we're everywhere.
Everywhere. And so if we go back to reality and, you know, because as I said earlier, Instagram and social media is a version of, you know, with filters, and you put yourself out in the best moments, and most of the time we don't see people who we are following their true, like, you know, their true struggles, their true setbacks, and setbacks that formed them and made them stronger. And it is always, you know, during all of my interviews, there's always a moment, a shift moment I call, you know, when it puts you off, you touch the bottom, and then you go like straight up. And I would love to hear your moment when you just, you know, shift everything.
To be honest, for me, ever since I started working, I always believed in hard work and, you know, going through the struggle, especially in the beginning when I had no idea of what to do. So, you know, the struggle started from there. Every time I learned from my mistakes. Yeah, my only zeal inside me was to just be bigger and bigger and bigger. It was never like, okay, now if I, like 1 year ago, if I wanted to be here and now I'm here, what to do next? No, I always had a plan. I always wanted to be, you know, just better, better, better. So it was not like one moment in my life. It was always like I had to, you know, just work hard. So I was my own competition, and I would just, you know, push myself every time. I would just push myself every time in my life. That's what I would say. But other than that, you know, it's not like a particular moment with me that, you know, okay, I just realized, okay, now I have to go up. No, for me, every time I had no other way. I had to survive. So when I started, I come from a middle class family. I had big dreams, but how to achieve those big dreams? Because my parents, they, you know, they earned, and then they could, so that they could just survive. But for me, survival was not just the only thing. You know, for to accomplish my dreams, I had to do much more than that. So I started, of course, working to survive, and there was no other way to do, you know, there was no other way to go from there. And then I realized what other things that I need to, you know, do in my life. So if I do it right now, I don't have to struggle 10 years or 20 years later from now. So I started working hard and going through the struggle, always choosing, you know, something out of my comfort zone, be it in the anchoring, be it in the makeup artistry, and now the cosmetics also. So.
But how do you push yourself when you're feeling like, you know, because
Pretend,
entrepreneurship,
you know, I would say, you know, that's the only thing, because it's like, you know, you can of course sometimes feel low and, you know, emotional or whatever, but this is something which is not going to make you feel like that, you know, your work. So that's the only thing. There has been times that, you know, maybe I was mentally, you know, not stable as in not feeling good about
tired,
what's happening in life, or maybe just tired, you know, oh, I've done so much, but maybe I'm not reaching where I want to be, you know. But I just believed in one thing, that, you know, I don't have to give up, because it's like so many people just, you know, before reaching the final step, they just give up. You don't even know, maybe, you know, it's just one more month that you just reach the success, but you just stop before that. So I was like, I don't know when am I going to get that, but I cannot stop. Even now, it's not what I want much more than what I have right now, always. So for now also, it's like, okay, new product, okay, what to do with it, how to market it. It's always a struggle, you know, and there can be good and bad times, but the work should always go on, I would say. Yeah.
And what is your best tips to all women who want to follow your journey, you know, or to start a company in a beauty industry?
I'd say just do it, you know. Do not wait. Nobody's gonna, you know, do it for you. You have to do it yourself. So just believe in yourself and get it done, so you don't have any regret in your life that, oh, you could, because sooner or later you'll have more priorities in life. You know, you'll maybe think about having a family, or, you know, maybe children, or other, or maybe health issues can be there. You know, we're women, you know, we can have a lot of issues, to be honest.
Yeah.
So you don't want to cry later that, okay, you know, 10 years back I had time. I could actually put more time in me, or on me, and just do something what I really wanted to, rather I just sacrifice it for XYZ reason. No, I would say just do it, you know. Do not wait for the right moment. Exactly. The right moment comes, you know. Yeah. It's about the push in yourself, you know. You just need to start, and then you find the right moments in life. That's what I say.
And you know, you said earlier that you want much more, and that's very inspiring to hear, because for me, like, you know, the Swati Cosmetics and everything that you have done is actually big, you know, and that you want to expand it. So my next question is, what's your vision with Swati Cosmetics? The biggest vision, and, you know, because sky's the limit, so...
Yeah, I would say it's more like, you know, like Estée Lauder, let's say, you know, it's everywhere. I want our products to be accessible to everyone in the world, you know. So that's the goal that I see in the coming years. I don't know how many years from now, but to have my own, the whole cosmetic line, of course, focused on the eyes, and with one purpose, that all the products that we have are very unique. Not that, you know, not that we just take something off from the shelf. We put so much time on the formulations and all that. So yes, with different products, but again, you know, having it accessible for everyone in the world. That's what I want with the cosmetics.
So the biggest vision is to be like everywhere.
Be like everywhere, of course, everywhere as in with the innovative products, but everywhere as in every person who wants to try out our product, it should be accessible for them. That's what I mean, everywhere.
And what inspires you to do that? You know?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just me, myself, like, you know, every day. And also my partner. It's important to have a supporting partner. It's, you know, sometimes it can be hard when you have a partner who doesn't believe in you, let's say, or you have other responsibilities and, you know, you're maybe not going, it's not that collaborative. It's important to have that thing for sure. He always encourages me. At times I can be like, okay, you know what, I don't want to do anything. And be like, no, come on. This is you, look at yourself. You have to do it much better. And again, my parents, my mother, even now, when I say, what, I had a big seminar in India. I want to rest for a month, I want to just focus on the company. She's like, no, people have been waiting. You have to do it. So I think, my family, everyone has been has played a very important role in it to push me. And me, myself, I always been like, I have to do better.
Yeah. So pushing from inside out.
Yeah, pushing from inside. It's like going to the gym. I can be very lazy at times, with some things. The gym is one of the things. But as I said, for every woman or even men, it's you who have to you have to bring the change. Nobody else is going to do it for you.
Exactly.
So just get up and get it done.
Yeah.
That's what
so
I'm saying.
Swati, if we go back again in time, now we have like 2 questions that we will discuss. And if we go back in time and you can sit with yourself and be your own mentor and give yourself some tips, advice, what would you say to your younger self?
Actually, I would not change anything. I would not say anything. I would just let me learn from my mistakes, because maybe if I didn't do the things that I did before, it would not shape me in who I am today. I would maybe not meet the love of my life. I would not maybe have a company even, or choose a path towards beauty, because maybe if I gave tips to myself, I may have just thought about being a doctor only. You understand? So I would not change things. I would rather just say, okay, learn from the mistakes. Do it. Do not wait for it. Do it. Just do it. Keep doing it and learn. And just take the action.
Yeah.
That's
but
what
would you say something, that it's more maybe about love, to yourself, or to, in stressful situations during entrepreneurship journey?
I've always been loving myself. That's one thing you have to do. So even if it's stressful, for me, like Vishal he can be really stressful at times. But as I said, I am a very calm person. I've learned it from my father. Sometimes it's too calm that, it's like, okay, the house is burning and what are you doing? So it can be like crazy situations also. But for me, it's like, okay, you know what? When you're in that situation, you have to solve it. You need to be calm. Because when you're calm, you can do a lot of things better. But when you're, in the stressful situations, you can actually miss out on a lot of things. So for me, being calm has been my strength, I would say. At times, at times it can be like, okay, no, don't be so calm.
Yeah.
But overall, it has been a good thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good thing, because I'm sitting here and fascinated about, to have this calmness during ups and downs, because, to have a company, to go through, ups and lows, and to have this calmness it's very powerful. And yeah.
I mean, it can be stressful, of course, but you have to just, you have to believe in yourself. And the only problem that I see when you're stressed about things that, oh, this is not working, that's not working, you will not get anything done, and you miss out on things.
Yeah.
And I'm a person who is about details. I am focused into the details. I mean, I'm not easy to work with, because I'm so focused. If I want something, I want that. It's not neither, less or more. I want exactly. It can be more, but nothing less. So I want exactly what I want. I know what I want, and I want that thing always. So with calmness, it's easy to get that. Because with stressfulness, when you're stressed always, you can miss out on things. So that's why I think, calmness is important in every aspect of life.
Yeah. So Swati, the next question is actually not a question. It's a sentence that I want you to follow. And to follow the sentence and put the end words of it. So I know for sure. One thing that you know for sure that you have to fill the sentence out.
I know for sure. I have to really think about it. I know for sure. I know for sure many things, but not many things.
And it can be something about your experience, or something you have been through, or something you just want to say to other people, that, yeah, I'm sure about it.
I know for sure every woman who believes in herself can really do wonders. So yeah, one advice, they should always believe and get the things done.
Thank you so much, Swati, for this fantastic episode and about your story. And thanks for all tips that you gave us. And I'm so happy that we have Swati Cosmetics in Sweden, because this episode is in collaboration with Expo2020 Swedish Pavilion. So I'm so happy to have you here.
Same here. Thank you so much for calling me. And I'm so glad that so many other people in Sweden will be able to listen to me now.
Yeah.